Vihare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna. Bolo bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Jai Vishwabad Paramahamsa, Hare Vrachakacharya, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Save the Whole World Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Founder of the BBT Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Read from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 10. This one? 17 or? 17. Naham Vishanke Surarajavadran Natrayaksha Shulanna Yamayasya Dandat Nagnyarka Somanila Vita Pastrach Chanke Brisham Brahma Kulava manat. Naham vishanke shuraraja vajran. Natrayaksha shulanna yamayasya dandat. Nagnyarka samanila vitopastrach. Shanke Vrisham Brahma Kulavamanat. Mataji's. Na, not, aham, I, vishanke, am afraid. Shuraraja Vajrat, from the thunderbolt of the King of Heaven, Indra. Na, nor, Trayaksha Shulat, from the piercing trident of Lord Shiva. Na, nor, Yamasya, of the superintendent of death, Yamaraj. Dandat, from the punishment. Na, nor, Agni, of fire. Arka, of the scorching heat of the sun. Soma, of the moon. Anila, of the wind. Vitapa, of the owner of riches. Kuvera, the treasure of the heavenly planets. Astrat, from the weapons. Shanke, I'm afraid of. Vrisham, very much. Brahmakula, the group of the Brahmanas. Avamanat, from offending. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. My dear sir, I am not at all afraid of the thunderbolt of King Indra, nor am I afraid of the serpentine piercing trident of Lord Shiva. I do not care about the punishment of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. Nor am I afraid of fire, scorching sun, moon, wind, nor the weapons of Kuvera. Yet I am afraid of offending a Brahmana. I am very much afraid of this. Purport. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Rupa Goswami at the Dasasya Medha Ghat in Prayag, he pointed out very clearly the seriousness of offending a Vaishnava. He compared the Vaishnava Parad to Hatimata, a mad elephant. When a mad elephant enters the garden, it spoils all the fruits and flowers. Similarly, if one offends a Vaishnava, he spoils all his spiritual assets. Offending a Brahmana is very dangerous, and this was known to Maharaj Rahugana. He therefore frankly admitted his fault. There are many dangerous things: thunderbolts, fire, Yamaraja's punishment, the punishment of Lord Shiva's trident, and so forth. But none is considered as serious as offending a Brahmana like Jarabharat. Therefore Maharaj Rahugana immediately descended from his palanquin, fell flat before the lotus feet of the Brahmana Jarabharat, just to be excused. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravane Pacharine Nivisheshanavadi Pashadadhisarine. So we all are very aware of the stories we've been reading from this part of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And especially here, Srila Prabhupada is talking about offending a Vaishnava. It's a very serious offense than any other offense, to make an offense to a Brahmana or a devotee. So to be very careful sometime when we are amongst us in the temple or anywhere, we should be more mindful of not offending anyone, even though we are every day closely associating with each other. Sometimes it can be that we can offend each other in many ways. So at the end of the day, we can always make sure that we are taking care of our Krishna consciousness. That's why here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Prabhupada explained in the purport that he's instructing that this offense is making it very more clearly that one should be more careful. And that's why Maharaj Rahugana also in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, he didn't know how to behave. So then he found out, how where devotees are when they speak. Devotees can be more, you can realize who devotees are. So today is also in our Vaishnava Sampradaya, it's a very important day to celebrate. Actually, by the mercy of Guru, one can know Krishna. That is the system. And who can be more expert? He is the supreme Guru. He himself is Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is known as Adi Guru, the original Guru. I was listening to Srila Prabhupada speak, and one devotee asked Prabhupada how a Guru knows everything. And Prabhupada said, Krishna knows everything more than anyone. Isn't it? So, it's not that Guru knows everything. Krishna is the knower of everyone. So, Guru knows everything when Krishna tells him to know. That's how it works. So even though Guru knows everything, but Krishna, the original spiritual master, is Lord Nityananda. So he knows everything. So when Lord Nityananda, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Krishna wants the Guru to know, that much Guru can know. That's how it works. So Adi Guru, the original spiritual master, is Lord Nityananda. Nityananda means it's eternally blissful. Lord Nityananda, he's so kind. I remember in Bengal, like people, they greet each other. They say, Jai Nitai. Here, in Gujarat, they say, Jai Shri Krishna, right? In Bengal, we say, Jai Nitai. This, we all know this in the culture. Lord Nityananda, by his mercy, everything goes perfect. As we are just now, we are singing, Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Godrume Nityananda Mahajan, he's Mahajan. And by his mercy, we can perform devotional service. Just like by the mercy of Guru, one can make progress in spiritual life when we can please Guru. So when he can please Lord Nityananda, we can please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can please Krishna. So there's a system for everything. And the place where Lord Nityananda appeared, that place is known as ISKCON. It's very far from Mayapur. I don't know how Lord Nityananda would come to Navadip from such a far away. They didn't have any modern transportation at that time. But, this is all very mysterious, how the Lord used to travel. So Lord Nityananda, he appeared that place, ISKCON. That place is known as Gupta Vrindavan. It's a hidden Vrindavan. It's non-different from Vrindavan. If you go to ISKCON, it can be very hard to travel because it's so far, the road's not that well, maybe it's better now. But once you reach ISKCON, it's such a wonderful place. It's a very special place. It's very serene and very peaceful. And you can even feel, even today, when you arrive in ISKCON, there's very dusty from the cows walking. Even now, you can feel like that time, when Lord Nityananda was there 500 years ago. So when Krishna appears 5,000 years ago, only recently Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared here, 500 years ago. Lord Nityananda appeared 500 years ago, not so far away. So Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita that when there is a trouble in this world, Lord comes or he sends his representative. So this is Leela Avatar. They come to perform the pastimes. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was the appearance of Advaita-acharya. Advaita-acharya was worshipping Shalagram at the bank of the Ganges in Santipur and praying when he saw the miseries of this world, people are suffering. He prayed to Advaita-acharya prayed to Krishna to appear. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared by his prayers, sincere prayers and worship of the Shalagram, the Ganges water. So Lord Nityananda appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, already appeared in ISKCON. I remember the first time I went to ISKCON, it was 1976, because we had to get Gaurnitai Didi. And that's the very special place they make Gaurnitai Didi and made out of neem. So we went there. It was so difficult to get there. Maybe it took us 5 hours to drive there because it's a dirt road. And that time was so special, even more now, because they didn't have many buildings. It was forest, full of forest and dirt road. Even today is like that, but they have some more buildings and things. And we stayed there overnight at a temple. And that's the place. They even have Radha Kund, Shama Kund. They have Govardhan Hill in a small hill, because it's the place of Vrindavan. So, and they bought the deities, the Gaurnitai Didi, that you can see them today. That's in Mayapur in a hut. That's when you walk in the temple, there's a hut that the Gaurnitai Didi that came from ISKCON, that's in there. That was originally meant for the Nitai Pada Kamala boat that sail off the Ganges. And those Gaurnitai Didi, the smaller Didi, they're still there, so beautiful. Because they know. So ISKCON is a very, very wonderful place. Lord Nityananda appeared there. He appears, when Krishna appears, he appears in the family of devotee. And it's a selected place. Wherever, like Krishna appeared, Kalki Avatar is going to appear. It's already mentioned where they're going to appear in the Puranas. So, Nityananda, eternal blissful Lord. This is pastime between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. Panchatattva. There are the 5 Panchatattva's. They're all. So it's mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, they're identical brothers. It's just like Krishna and Balaram. Only difference, Krishna and Balaram, is their color. They're identical. So Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's mentioned that when they first met, that place is not far away from ISKCON Mayapur. If you come out of the temple, walk down towards Ulughat, towards Navadip, just down the road, that's the place, Acharya's house. There is the Madhvacharya's Mandir, temple, Gauriya is there today. That's where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, they first met. And it was tremendous festivity and affection between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. Tears are flowing from their eyes from each other. People are rolling on the ground when Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda met. So much love for each other. They're eternal brothers. They're transcendental. They're Krishna Balaram. Balaram Hoila Nitai. So that place, if you go today, is still there. And you know, Lord Nityananda, he's so merciful. He used to make people chant Hare Krishna. Like, you go even door to door, make people chant Hare Krishna, and people said, go away, go away. And he would roll on the ground till they chant Hare Krishna once. Say, Ekbar balo. Just mention once Krishna's name. Just once. And if they didn't mention Krishna, Hare Krishna once, he would be rolling on the ground like a child throwing a tantrum. Rolling on the ground. Imagine how much affection he has for the conditioned soul. Just like we have to feel that way. So Prabhupada had that feeling for the conditioned souls. Otherwise, why would he take so much trouble to go to America with nothing? So much trouble, because his love for Krishna is demonstrated how much Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, those who preach my glory, they are very dear to me. And Lord Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Panchatattvas, they're demonstrating that. Lord Nityananda, he would even go in the pubs in Navadip to make people chant Hare Krishna. Sometimes people say, you're associating with karmis. We're not associating with karmis. We are giving our association to the karmis. We stay above. If devotees go to work, you're going to work, but you're not associating with them. You're giving them your association. That's why when you are Krishna conscious, your spiritual consciousness, your Krishna consciousness, you're rubbing onto them. So Lord Nityananda, he was sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to make Jagai Madhai become a devotee. The Jagai Madhai, they were very demoniac in Navadip. Everybody knew. Dasu means they're like dacoits. Dasu, dacoits, very scary. Even today, these villages, there are some people, everybody know, oh yeah, that the guy, he comes around, doesn't mess around. So Jagai Madhai was very extraordinary. This is all the Leela of the Lord, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's mentioned when Jagai Madhai became devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them. Momentarily, the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's golden color, it turned black from the sin of Jagai Madhai. Golden. They were so sinful. So Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, they had to go and make them devotees. It's not easy and they were thrown around. They were chasing. And Haridas Thakur, Lord Nityananda, they couldn't, they had to come back. And one of the Madhai, or one of the Jagai Madhai, hit Lord Nityananda with a broken pot. Lord Nityananda was so merciful. He was bleeding. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sudarshan Chakra! He called for Sudarshan Chakra and he was coming. Imagine that. And Sudarshan Chakra is a very powerful disc. The universe was shaking so hot. He called for Sudarshan Chakra and it was coming. And Lord Nityananda grabbed hold of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he said, you're not supposed to hold any weapon in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the weapon of the holy name. And you're breaking his love for his brother. I have a brother, I didn't have love for him. Because he didn't chant Hare Krishna, I said, I don't want to talk to you. Lord Nityananda, he was so compassionate. He was bleeding. He says, forgive them, they do not know. Forgive them. And when the Jagai Madhai, when they saw the affection of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and affection of Lord Nityananda, they surrendered, they begged for forgiveness. So, Srila Prabhupada actually also demonstrated his love for Krishna. His love for... Today, the world is full of Jagai Madhai. Isn't it? I mean, we in Harinam, people would be throwing eggs and stuff like that at us. Here, all over the world, people are not very friendly. Of course, now they're friendly, but people are not taking up Krishna consciousness. Now they are taking up Krishna consciousness because of the mercy of Lord Nityananda, because of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of the mercy of Advaita-acharya, because of the mercy of the Panchatattvas. So, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Radha and Krishna. And Balaram, there's a story that Lord Balaram, and he was playing 5,000 years ago at the Golden Hill in Vrindavan. And he was playing with one of his cowherd boyfriend 5,000 years ago. That's a long time ago. And children, they always play in the caves and hilly area where they hide and seek playing. So it was Subal and Lord Nityananda as Balaram. And Balaram, Subal was waiting for Lord Balaram to come back to catch him. But he was hiding in the hill, in the cave of Govardhan Hill. And he was hiding, he was there waiting. And Lord Balaram didn't turn up. Long time. And it was 500 years ago. And Lord Nityananda came, which is none other than Balaram. And he came to Subal and he says, I am Balaram that you're looking for. He said, you're not Balaram. Balaram is very tall. Look at you, you're small. But he said, no, I'm Balaram. The same Balaram you're thinking of, that's me. He said, but Balaram is very tall. He says, I will give you a race together. We'll race around Govardhan Hill. Whoever wins, then you have to accept the defeat. He said, yeah, sure. And they went around the hill, and Balaram, Lord Nityananda, very quickly defeated him, because he's Balaram. And then he says, I accept you. But he said, what do I do? Because Subal is from 5,000 years ago. He's very tall. He said, and you're shorter than me. And he said, no problem. He shrinked him down with his hand. It was to his side. So that Subal is known as Abhiram Das Thakur in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Nityananda, he's that same Lord Nityananda 5,000 years ago as Balaram, who came as Lord Nityananda 500 years ago. He's so merciful. And it's mentioned that he met that Raghunath Das Goswami. We have this festival here every year, the Panihari festival. And he met Raghunath Das Goswami. He's very rich. The Goswamis are very rich. You see them, they're very slim, very skinny. They're like saints. They are saints, but they didn't eat much. They are very, very wealthy. They had boat full of coins, gold coins. If you see one gold coins, well, they put away in the museum. But they had boat full of gold coins, but they were not attached to it. They gave it all up and joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. the Goswamis. And Raghunath Das Goswami, it's mentioned that when he was tied down by his father because he always wanted to run away and meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the middle of the night, he got away and met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he was very wealthy. His parents were very wealthy. And he was in Jagannath Puri, and Raghunath Das Goswami was begging outside the Jagannath temple. Imagine how your parents would feel. You're very rich and your son is begging. But he was not begging. He was begging for, he's associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Nityananda, there's a place there's a place called Panihati, actual place. It's not far from Calcutta. Every year the devotees from Mayapur will go and put up a big festival at Panihati, at the banks of the Ganges. And so that's where Lord Nityananda met Raghunath Das Goswami. And he said, he wanted him to help make a festival of flat rice with yogurt, milk. So he wanted him to sponsor it. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he is an associate of Lord Nityananda. He is an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, it's mentioned also that Lord Nityananda, he was, there's two types of sampradaya. One is known as Saivites. Saivites, they are like impersonalists, and they act like avadut also. Avadut means those who don't have any understanding of themselves. They're totally immersed in how they dress. They're not knowledge of their self. They're totally they're roaming in the street, avadut, not acting properly. They're crazy, acting very crazy. So, like madmen. So those people, they could be imitating that, though they are known as Saivites. And then there's another avadut, there's Vaishnava avadut. There's two groups, bona fide avadut. That avadut is known as Tiruvika. So we wouldn't practice that because our sampradaya doesn't practice to be avadut. But there is Vaishnava avadut also, which was Lord Nityananda was acting like avadut. Totally immersed in ecstasy, love for Krishna. Not dressed properly, not eating, riding in a bull, riding a crocodile. They said that in Navadip, in Mayapur, that area, they had crocodiles in the Ganges 500 years ago. We wouldn't go swimming if there's crocodile in it today. It's good that there's no crocodile, but those days Lord Nityananda was riding in the back of a crocodile. Imagine that. If you chant, I chant Hare Krishna, I'm full of faith for Krishna. Oh, chant Hare Krishna on the back of the crocodile then, if you have love for Krishna. So Lord Nityananda was riding in the back of the crocodile because he didn't know what is what. He's so absorbed in Krishna. So, actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, he have to come down. Don't act like a avadut. You have to preach Krishna consciousness, you have to be more sane, down to simple, make it simple yourself. So that, actually, Lord Nityananda also, there's a place, 4 stations from Navadip. That place is called Kalna. Have you been there? Kalna? Very beautiful place, extremely beautiful. If you take a train from Navadip, 4 stations, get down, take a rickshaw to a place where Lord Nityananda married. He was married to Jandava and Vasudha. And he had 7 sons, but they all died. And there is the deity of Gauridas Pandit. So that place is so beautiful. And there is a tamarind tree. In Bengal, people have tamarind tree. Like in the South India, the tamarind tree is very common, also in Bengal. So that place where Lord Nityananda, that place, there's a big tamarind tree. And kulgach. Kulgach is it's a fruit, like very sweet, only grows in certain areas like Vrindavan, Mayapur. That fruit's called kul. Kulgach is like a bear fruit, they call it. And Lord Nityananda, that place was that full of kulgach, there's forest and tamarind tree. And if you go there today, that place is, you can have sweet rice that they make for Gaur Nitai. It's amazing. You just have to have a little bit. And they say the pujaris they used to make for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gauranga and Lord Nityananda from that time. So they have the recipe still today that they make it. So when you go there, you ask for the sweet rice that they make for Gaur Nitai. And Shandesh. Shandesh is made from paneer, but they break it down, they blend it up. So it's very unique flavor. So they have the recipe, all the recipe they have is coming from Lord Nityananda's time. And Prabhupada explained there is a Vamsa, like a family line. So there is known as the Nityananda Vamsa. So Prabhupada was saying, there's a lecture by Prabhupada, he says, those who are preaching Krishna consciousness, traveling worldwide, preaching Krishna consciousness, like the sannyasis in ISKCON, they can claim to be the Nityananda Vamsa, even though we are not in that Vamsa. But Prabhupada said in that lecture he was giving on appearance of Lord Nityananda, he said, those who are preaching the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the glories of Bhakti Yoga, preaching Krishna consciousness, they can claim to be in the line of Lord Nityananda. So those who claim to be in the Nityananda Vamsa, who do not know who they are, but because they are not following. But if you want to claim to be the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the follower of Lord Nityananda, then you can be in that line by preaching Krishna consciousness. So we are in that line. We're in the line of Lord Nityananda. Because we are Rupanugas, we're the follower of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, the 6 Goswamis, they are the disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we are the follower of the Rupa Goswamis. So actually we're in the line, in that way, in the line of Lord Nityananda. And so when I went to that place, that Gauridas Pandit's, the deity in Kalna, Ambika Kalna, I met the pujari. That pujari said he is in the line of Lord Nityananda. And actually he looked like Lord Nityananda. He's very tall and he had long hair. And he says, I'm coming from that line. Perhaps he is, because he is the pujari there. So, Lord Nityananda's compassion is immense. He would make sure even the Mohammedans, the Muslims in Mayapur, chant Hare Krishna. And they were laughing at the devotees. They said, there goes the Hare Krishna. And then Gaur Nitai, they were completely satisfied because they said Hare Krishna. Even if you say Hare Krishna laughingly, Jiva Goswami said, you get the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna. So, Lord Nityananda appeared in Ekachakra. That's that place, Ekachakra today. There's a sannyasi that came to the house of Hare Pandit, the father of Lord Nityananda, and his mother is, Lord Nityananda's mother is Padmavati. So it's just like when Lord Ram's time, the sage came to the house of, what's the name? So Dasharat house, and they wanted to take their son, who's Lord Rama and Lakshman. They said, you can ask anything, but not Lord Ram and Lakshman. So similarly, the sannyasi came to the house of Hare Pandit in Ekachakra. They wanted that Lord Nityananda, their son. He said the same thing. He said, you can take anything but not my son. But when they already promised to give, so Lord Nityananda went, the only son of Hare Pandit, traveling for 20 years. He went traveling for 20 years. But Hare Pandit passed away from separation. Sometimes our people, we want our children to go and get a job and not and be separated from family and have their own family and not be with us. But Hare Pandit wanted his son to be with them all the time. So Lord Nityananda went traveling, just like Balaram went traveling. When Kurukshetra battlefield was taking place, he didn't want to be part of it. There was too much misery there. He went Holy Tirtha. So Lord Nityananda went traveling all Holy Tirtha for 20 years. And then, of course, when he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Mayapur, at the house of Nanda-Nandana-Acharya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 20 years old. And Lord Nityananda was 32 years old. So he is older brother. So sometimes we say, God, Lord Nityananda, if he is older, why is he not the supreme? Why is he taking the role of a servant? Because Adi Guru, Lord Nityananda is Adi Guru. Adi Guru, Guru is one who is the perfect servant of his Guru. So ultimately he is the perfect servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Nityananda is a perfect servant of Krishna as Balaram. Balaram, he takes the shape of as a servitorship, as a servant of Krishna. That's why he's Adi Guru. A Guru is one who is perfect disciple of his Guru. He becomes qualified to become a Guru. So the perfect Guru, the Adi Guru, the original Guru is Lord Nityananda. And he takes the servitorship as his master, as Krishna. As the humility, so humble. He is God. He is non-different from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are identical brothers. Yet, so why is he not claiming to be the supreme? Because he sees his older brother, his younger brother, which is the ultimately older brother, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as his ultimate master and servant. So Prabhupada was asked if Lord Balaram, he is the older brother, Dauji. He's the older brother, right? Dauji. And why Krishna is not, why he is considered to be supreme? Prabhupada said, you look at Lord Krishna, Lord Balaram, they're standing together, but Lord Balaram is leaning on Krishna for support. That means Krishna is the supreme. You understand? So, yet, the mood of devotional service is that mood is taken up by Lord Nityananda. The highest performance of devotional service as the ultimate servant of his master Krishna as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there's a pastime between. That's why Lord Nityananda, Lord Balaram, they have their own pastimes, gopis and gopas. But there's some conflict between Krishna and Balaram. But when Balaram knows this is the desire of Krishna, immediately he accepts it because he knows the mind of Krishna. He knows this is what pleases Krishna, and he gives in. It's not that there's that conflict. It's just some issue. This for our understanding, there's that lila happening. Just like during the time of 5,000 years ago, Duryodhana, he is inimical towards Krishna. But he was also friend to Balaram. and Balaram is Krishna's brother. How is this? So that means he should be favoring Duryodhana. And he is Krishna's enemy. And Krishna is his older brother is Balaram. So how is this? But this is all etiquette-wise. So when there was a fight between, the club fight between Duryodhana and Bhima, and Krishna told he break his leg, hit his leg, and he had, because his leg, Duryodhana's leg was that's the place to hit him because it's not invincible there, and that's against the rule. He to hit their leg, not upper part, but Krishna favors his devotee. So then Balaram was very angry at Krishna. He said, how you can allow that? But then Krishna told him, it's not your problem, don't worry. Something like that. And Balaram was satisfied because Balaram knows he is his servant. Balaram acts as Krishna's servant. This is no problem. It's not a mundane thing. In a mundane world, there's always a conflict, even amongst brothers and sisters and husband, wife, there's always conflict. There is never, one person doesn't want to surrender. There's always some issues. So in the ultimate principle of devotional service in the spiritual world, there is always that principle of loving. Pure love represented by how much we surrender, how much we understand the other person's principle. There is that understanding there, the ultimate spiritual understanding through bhakti. Why devotional service is the highest? Because devotional service culminates all the principles. The highest principle is the process of devotional service. So Adiguru, the original spiritual master, as Lord Nityananda, he demonstrated that love, that pure love. He was always taking the humble position. And another thing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda as Panchatattva, they came as Bhaktavesh. They came as to demonstrate what is a devotee, how to perform devotional service, how a devotee performs his service. Because as a bhakta, devotees, they want to demonstrate. So Lord Nityananda, our mission is to preach Krishna consciousness. And Lord Nityananda, he demonstrated that through his humility. Self-sacrifice. Total sacrifice. The Jagai Mada, they hit him with the clay pot and he was bleeding. There was no revenge. In fact, he said, forgive them. So much love. That's the definition of pure love. That's the definition of devotional service. Always forgiving. But in the sense, forgiving in the sense of making them more Krishna conscious. There's a principle behind everything. You don't forgive people who are, like I was just reading here, Hati Mata, offending a devotee. So, Jagai Madai offended Lord Nityananda. The greatest offense. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for Sudarsana Chakra, immediately to kill them. And Srila Prabhupada was giving the lecture, he said, but Lord Nityananda told him, you didn't take your appearance in Kali Yuga to take up any weapons. You have to tell them about Krishna. If you want to kill everyone in this age, you have to kill everybody, because everybody is like a demon. This is the ultimate principle of bhakti, of principle of love, is to show compassion. There's no compassion. You cannot explain compassion other than telling others about Krishna. Jare kada kaho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. We're singing also this morning. Whomever you meet, you tell them about Krishna. Shiksha karo, the song. Tell others, teach others about bhakti, about Krishna. Lord Nityananda, that place, Gadrum Deep, All the places that the place that took pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Krishna, is so beautiful, so peaceful. Even today, if you go to the Mayapur, Vrindavan, it's very serene. People always say, oh, the rickshaws and cows and pigs. That's your external vision. You go a little bit far away, like towards Govardhan Hill, Radhakund, around that area, it's so peaceful. Towards where Barshana is. That's all part of Vrindavan. In Mayapur, same. As soon as you step out of the Ganges, you go towards Godrum Deep, where Bhaktivedanta Thakur house is. It's so beautiful. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he heard huge kirtan was coming, middle of night, in Mayapur. He says, where is this kirtan happening this time of night? Everyone's asleep. I mean, the other devotees are asking Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. He said, no, the demigods are chanting. They come out at night and having a Harinam on Bhaktisiddhanta road. The road outside the temple. The demigods, they're in a different dimension, so locals can't hear them. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he could see them doing Harinam there. So that's their program. Gaur Nitai. Gaur Nitai is dancing. They're always dancing. Sometimes the kirtan is so ecstatic. When Srila Prabhupada was here, doing the Guru Puja, and no one's looking at the deity. They're all in front of Prabhupada, roaring, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So crazy. And one time, Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and he was looking at one particular corner all the time. He was looking at a particular corner. So there was a devotee noticed Prabhupada was looking at this corner all the time. So Prabhupada, that devotee was very curious, wanted to ask Prabhupada what was happening. Why is he looking at the corner all the time? Why is he giving his talk? So then he found a time suitable that he could ask that to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada he said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you giving a talk the other day, why were you looking there all the time in the corner? He said, because Narad Muni was there. He came to attend the class. So we don't know, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're always here. This is why, you see days like today, it's not only there, they're always here. So Adi Guru means a guru who teaches by his own example. Acharya, one who teaches by his own example. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he himself appears at Lord Nityananda, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Bhaktivesh, come to show us how to be a devotee. There's every reason for us to become a devotee of Krishna, a good devotee. Every reason. God himself is showing us the example. Isn't it? How much time do we have in this world? We live here in a very short time. So we have to beg at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, beg at the feet of Lord Nityananda for their mercy. This was their mood. Their mood was like that. Lord Nityananda was always begging for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. He was always hankering for the mercy. Lord Nityananda was so ecstatic in that ecstasy. So Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are the emblem or the highest principle of love of God, love for Krishna, surrender to Krishna. What is the need for God to accept a disciple? He took initiation, and he is the ultimate guru, but he wants to show us that the way to approach Krishna, the way to love Krishna, is to go through the process of surrender, process of devotional process, Guru Parampara system. So the system of Krishna consciousness, the system that Prabhupada gave us, this is the same process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Our process is Harinam Sankirtan. In fact, our movement was started by singing and dancing. Srila Prabhupada was sitting under the park in He didn't have anything, no temple. He started this movement, just singing, dancing, chanting Hare Krishna. And that's how it started. There was no temple. That is our dharma for this age, to chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What more can we ask? Everything is there in the holy name. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda has given us that. And if you really want to please Lord Nityananda, really want to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to immerse ourselves in the Harinam Sankirtan, immerse ourselves in the process of devotional service, giving our mind, throwing our problems in the mind and our consciousness, and taking shelter at the feet of Lord Nityananda. Yeah, Lord Nityananda's mercy is so beautiful and so, so touching. Yeah. So it's that, he appeared, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but this is all his pastimes. So Krishna comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, his representative comes to show us example, to show us, to bring us back to Godhead. How compassionate they are. They personally come down here, take all the difficulty and trouble to bring us to his lotus feet. This is their work. For us, they are doing. We see a lotus, we see a beautiful flower, Krishna created that. How much work in that involved to create that flower, the coloring it, all the design, very intricate. Krishna created that. So people take and smell it, give to their friend. Just we can do that only. Not everyone is offering to Krishna, only the devotees. You see, flower shop, so much work to make that little flower. And so many different types of flower. Just so you can pick it and give to your friend. Or some occasions. So Krishna is always working for us. Everything we see is all the work of Krishna. We eat the food, we're thinking, I cooked it, I eating, I work for it. Krishna gave those things for us to enjoy it. But we're not recognizing Krishna. We're not thanking him. We are always giving ourselves the credit, and not to Guru, not to Krishna. It's Guru's mercy we have these things. Always think of Guru. Lord Nityananda was the Adi Guru. He was always giving credit to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was always giving credit to his Guru. He was always thinking of Krishna. That's how we have to be. So if you want to become a Guru, every one of us are Guru in our own way. We tell others about Krishna. Jare taka tare kaha Krishna Vadesh. Amara eka Guru hai taro adesh. Not everyone is going to come to temple. We have to go and look for them. That's why you go on Harinam. People are in ecstasy when they see us chanting in the street. All kinds of people. Black, white, anyone. They see us Harinam. Oh, they're in ecstasy, isn't it? So not everyone's going to come to temple, only the Indian people. But if you want to touch everyone, we have to go out there. So that's how it works. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's program is in the street. Not just the temple, in the street. Harinam Sankirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, break up, make a group, go on Harinam. And that's how they were attacked by Jagai Mata. They were on Harinam. So we are very lucky these days, nobody attacks us. But I'm just giving an example how our process of devotional service is full of ecstasy, full of love, full of joy. And that's why you see Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, they're dancing, hands in the air. Who is dancing? You go to work, you put your hands in, you're not up in the air, you're not in ecstasy. Everyone's miserable. So the process of Krishna consciousness given to us by coming down from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, coming down from Lord Nityananda, the same process 500 years ago, singing and dancing. It's so glorious, so wonderful, and it's so ecstatic and full of bliss. You see, they have this big murti in Calcutta of Vivekananda. He's like this. He's standing like this. All right, take your hands in the air, dance. So some people are standing. We went Harinam the other day, and there was one Indian man, he's like a complete pagal, and he was in the middle of the Harinam, like this. He wouldn't move his hand, do nothing. We're all around him, singing, dancing. And he ultimately gave up. He saw, these guys are so happy. Why I'm the only one who look miserable. And he gave in. So, our program, Prabhupada used to always say, is very simple. Sing and dance, do service. There's no problem. We create problem. There's no problem. It's ecstasy. How long are we going to live here? While we're here, give in to Lord Chaitanya's mission of Nityananda. Gauranga Nityananda Mahaprabhu ki. Hare Krishna. Okay. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. Is that okay? Yes. Yeah, they do have an initiated name. They do. They got initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They do have a spiritual name. I can find out for you. Yeah, that's why they surrendered and gave up all their bad habits, and they got initiated by Lord Chaitanya. And so, it's amazing how, Srila Prabhupada initiated some of the people came from so many different backgrounds, and we're equally fortunate, actually. And, we don't have time to criticize devotee or do this and that. Just accept it as the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Gauranga. That's how I see it. Just accept it. There is so many issues, this, that, you can go on and on. You break your head against the wall. But you will, Kale dosa nide rajan is full of fault. Ekanastit mahan guna. There's one great quality. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Chant the holy name. Kirtanadava Krishna Shah. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda demonstrated that. Just take shelter of the holy name. Blow it all, everything is blown away. There was a big cloud, and they were going to Harinam, and a huge cloud was coming over Mayapur. And so everybody was scared. Sometime in Mayapur, the huge cloud, they're like scary actually. Monsoon cloud, very dark. I remember a kid wow, it's like a demon coming down. And we'll go hide under the bed. So they saw this cloud, huge monsoon cloud coming. And they can be very close to you, the clouds. So the devotees were scared. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his kartal. Vedanga. Cloud went away. If you have that faith, you have the love, it'll work for you. The miracle will come. But if we are always mingling in our mind and this and that problem, that, we're not going to get the ultimate mercy of Lord Nityananda. We have to go for it. Give up our anathas and all these thoughts. Just serve Krishna, that's it. Don't think about it. Like they have the vaccines, everyone's worried. Krishna will protect us. If you have to take it, take it. Don't worry, Krishna will protect us. If I'm still alive today, we'll be still going after a while. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Gauranga Nityananda Mahaprabhu ki jai.